Hey everybody, this is Marian Cowing Owen.
And this is David Owen.
And this is You Show Me Yours, the podcast where a married couple talks about the movies and television that they loved before the first date. And today I was made to watch Mission Impossible.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I meant to have the music queued up. But I didn't. This podcast will self-destruct in like 40 to 60 minutes. Yeah, Mission Impossible, the 1996 Brian De Palma directed action movie, the television show brought to life.
Yeah.
The Tom Cruise vehicle that's become an epic franchise, only rivaled by Fast and the Furious these days.
Yeah, I don't know how I hadn't seen this one, but I hadn't.
Yeah.
I saw the second one, but not this one.
Oh, you have seen the second one?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those movies. I mean, it was very popular when it came out. It's possible that you were just not interested.
Well, I was in college, so I was.
Yeah, true.
I missed on a lot of pop culture stuff because I just didn't have access to a TV and.
Yeah, a lot of us. So this, 96 was junior year, or depending on when it came out, maybe between junior and senior year, or no, between sophomore and junior, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we would go to the movies. Oak Hollow Mall was built sometime in the early 90s and had a pretty nice theater. It's where I saw the first showing of Phantom Menace when that came out. So we would go to kind of everything around this time. Me and my high school friends, this and Austin Powers and Wayne's World 2 and all that stuff. Like we would just go to everything that we could manage to get to. And this was one that we watched. I don't remember being like particularly blown away by it or anything, but I had watched the television show a little bit. But
when was the TV show on?
70s, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Maybe late 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was older than that. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I guess in my head it goes in the same category as Get Smart.
Yeah.
Even though obviously much slicker and much smarter than Maxwell Smart.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, Mission Impossible, 96, Brian De Palma. We already said that. So this is one of those movies that is, it's like, I don't know if you asked me to collect my 100 favorite movies, if this movie would make the list, but if you ever were like, hey, we're watching movies and here are our choices, and one of them was Mission Impossible, like I would be like, oh, Mission Impossible. So yeah, for sure. Like it's one of those things. It's like, it's a good response, I think, to Condor, which was sort of a haphazard pencil pusher in the spy game, learning to become a spy.
Yes.
This is the full-on super professionals of the. Is it the IMF?
Yes, although not. Yeah, now IMF means something else to me, and it's not that. So I don't know why.
The Impossible Mission Force. It's called. It's IMF, the Impossible Mission Force.
Oh God.
So if you're unfamiliar with just the concept of Mission Impossible, the concept is. So in the television show, it was Jim Phelps, and Jim Phelps here is portrayed by John Voight. Jim Phelps then was portrayed by Peter Graves.
Oh.
The actor Peter Graves. And
what a soothing voice that man had.
Yes, right. And the idea is Mr. Phelps gets a recording, usually handed off in the way that we see in the intro of this movie, where he's on a plane and the stewardess is like, can I interest you in a movie? And he's like, oh, no, thanks. And she's like, perhaps the cinema of Ukraine. And he understands like, oh, this is my thing. And he gets a recording. It's your mission if you choose to accept it, Mr. Phelps. And the all of the underpinnings of the show are all here. That the tape self-destructs when he's done. They always say your mission if you choose to accept it, and they always say if any of you or your agents, your IMF agents, should become compromised, you'll be disavowed. Which was just something they sort of always said on the show, but they made disavowing into a major plot point in the movie, which I thought was kind of cool as someone who saw some of the episodes of the show.
Yeah, I was surprised at how quiet the self-destructing was. I've seen parodies of this and I thought it was going to blow up, and then he just like puts it in the ashtray and it smokes a little bit.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it blows up.
Okay.
There are definitely, I think maybe it's the second movie, there's an instance where they use the exploding mission tape as a weapon. But a lot of these underpinnings of the show will get sort of shed throughout the franchise, the movie franchise.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It becomes the IMF crew, you know, much like in this movie, Ethan Cruise's Ethan Hunt is Ethan. If Cruise was playing Ethan Hawke, that's a whole different movie. His Ethan Hunt is initially suspected of being a traitor and then affirmed to be, for real, and ends up, back with the IMF, so to speak, or at least the ending of the movie is giving you that indication. Even though he kind of says he's not going to be back with the company, he's on the same, flight that Jim Phelps was on before, and now he gets the offer. And we're off to the races.
What was the cinema this time? Was it of Brazil?
I think so.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of the things that you asked when we were watching this is, why does this look like a television show when it was doing the intro? And I was like, because they're doing the intro of the television show.
Yeah, it was like they do with sitcoms, where it was shots that were clearly from scenes that were going to come later in the movie.
Yeah. And, I like when they do that, but I also like when they shoot stuff that they don't use in the movie.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a few of these like intro sequences where you're looking for those scenes to happen and they never do. I wish I could think of one off the top of my head, but I know that there's at least a couple. And sometimes that's because scenes get cut and stuff. But yeah, I like that sort of thing when you're like, it gives this idea of there's like a bigger world to this, because a lot of these shows, when they cut an intro like that, originally the intro is just like scenes from the pilot. And they're all from the same episode. And then maybe season 2, they cut a new one that's stuff from season 1. And then, season 7, they cut one that's got more stuff. So yeah, it makes it feel more like lived in. And in addition to the music, the dun, 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 which of course would be parodied, time and time again, especially in Wayne's World, which is great. They use the iconic burning wick, which was a thing that was in the television show intro. And the wick is burning down, then the wick burns down and explodes, and then it says Mission Impossible. So just the oftentimes Hollywood doesn't honor the source material in an effective way, and I think here they really do, by having Jim Phelps. You're linking this to the original series. And by you creating a television-like intro, by keeping the iconic music, even though at the end they do the theme again, and they have a very 90s sort of jungle dance beat version of it. It's like it's doing the dun 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 dun, and then it gets and then it's like
we drop the bass.
Yeah. And it just becomes like extremely 90s electronic. So again, a nice way to sort of pay that homage. Like in the beginning, you've got the Jim Phelps theme essentially, and at the end, you've got the Ethan Hunt theme. Like now, as the younger generation is taking over the IMF team and all this stuff.
So wait, was Ethan Hunt not in the original show?
I don't know.
Okay,
but Phelps was the protagonist of the show.
Okay,
he was the number one in the show. He had a team, same as this. And I mean, I will say I've watched maybe a handful of episodes of the show, like not contemporary when they released, but like in the 80s when I was young and into action movies and spy stuff. So I'm no expert on the show, but I've got enough exposure to it to kind of be able to say that they were in many ways honoring the show and the spirit of the show and all this sort of stuff. Like I said, I did see this in theaters. I owned it on VHS for sure. And it was a couple years later that I'd be working at a video store, and I think I ended up coming into my copy that way. Like they were selling off the extra copies in '97. We would usually get like anywhere between 2 and 10 copies of a new movie, and by the time it had run its course about a year later, you were looking to sell off those extra copies for a pretty good price. And if you were an employee, maybe that price was $0. And you took Mission Impossible.
Lakshman's gonna come looking for you.
I know, right? Mr. Pripman, I gave you many hours of overtime for free. Yeah. So this movie, it's a very sort of prototypical international spy movie. Like, I think you've got two kinds of spy movies. You've got James Bond, secret agent, singular secret agent. And then you've got spy team. And this movie starts out very spy team. You've got, I forget his name now, but you've got Emilio Estevez in there as the tech guy.
Doomed Emilio,
who gets impaled through the eyes by a spike.
I looked on the Wikipedia page and he's not even credited. Like, that's how much of a nothing role that is. It's like, no,
but it's a great
guy.
role. Yeah. But they show the team has this camaraderie, and they're setting up for this job where they introduce the idea of the knock list. The knock list is the disavowed agents, or is not the disavowed agents? It's the active undercover agents. And the knock list is split into two parts. One has the code names, one has the real names. And apparently a mysterious buyer named Max has already secured the code names and is looking for the other half of the knock list. Someone is going to steal it at a party, and Jim and his team need to be there to catch him in the act, because they think he's working with someone on the inside, and make sure the knock list doesn't get into out into the wild, and hopefully catch Max and the traitor in the process. And story-wise, spoilers for a 30-year-old movie, it turns out that the traitor inside is Jim Phelps, who is masquerading as Job, using Bible verses to communicate with Max, who ends up being Maxine. And Jim stages his own death, as well as killing all of the members of the IMF team, except for his wife, Claire, who at first we think survived through dumb luck, but we find out later is Jim's accomplice. And Ethan, who refuses the abort and basically doesn't. Jim is, I think, depending on everybody to do the thing they're supposed to do. And that's how he's set up their like overly elaborate death or whatever. And Ethan's kind of a wild card, so he doesn't quite go along as planned. He manages to escape. And then wackiness ensues from there. We go on a world chasing adventure as Ethan is accused of being as the only survivor, accused of being the mole. Kittredge, who's introduced, who's higher up in the IMF or whatever, or the CIA or whatever the hell he is initially pursuing Hunt. He's sort of your first two acts antagonist.
Yeah, I had a hard time with so he eventually does a turn and he turns out to be on the side of justice, etc. But I had a hard time accepting that, because what I know that actor from is Clear and Present Danger. He's I think the national security advisor or something, and he's in cahoots with somebody to something profit off of drug lords and something, and Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan has to take him down, and blah blah blah. So I was just like, that's Robert Ritter, we don't trust him at all. Harrison Ford told me that, but jeez. But yeah, third act redemption for him. Yes.
Kittredge turns out to be not unlike the guy in Condor, who turns out to be trustworthy. Yeah. But yeah, before we get too far into this, I've already forgotten. Thank you for reminding me, Marianne. We actually will watch this with us. Our son will, our teen son, and we got his quick thoughts on it. A little fun with the teens to see what do the teens think of Mission Impossible action movies from the 90s and et cetera. So let's head over there and see what Will had to say.
Hey, what's up? It's me, it's Will. I'm back. We watched Mission Impossible this time.
We did.
Yeah.
So, Will, why don't you give us your overall thoughts on Mission Impossible, and we'll maybe prod you with a couple of questions after that. What did you think about Mission Impossible?
It was good. Let's see. My favorite part was probably when they were when they're going in the vault. That was great.
Yeah, when they
Yeah,
do the
that's-
break-in.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best known part.
It looks
yeah.
like it was like filmed in like a zero gravity room.
Kind of, but it was
Did they?
actually just
It
all.
was-
No, it
really?
was just all wires. Yeah, like
yeah.
Tom Cruise actually had to put coins in his shoes
Yeah.
to help counterbalance him on that.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
In his
it was-
shoes?
because your head and your torso are a lot heavier than your feet.
Oh, okay.
So
oh yeah,
okay.
he
in
wouldn't
order,
be able to
yeah.
do that.
in order to counterbalance himself,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
he needed weight in his shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
How about character wise? There's any characters
Hmm.
stand out?
Ethan,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yes.
one. Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Luther too.
Luther's fun. Yeah,
Luther.
fun character.
Yeah.
Speaking of Luther, did you recognize his voice?
No.
What if he told you about? What if he told you that a certain sandwich restaurant had the meats?
Oh my! It's him. Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that actor
That
Ving
actor,
Rhames
yeah.
is the "We have the meats" guy.
That's great.
from
I
Arby's.
think, wasn't he also in Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah,
He was the
plays.
social worker.
Yeah, he plays
Yeah.
the social worker that looks exactly like him in a
yeah,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah.
seen him in
Yeah,
that
you've seen him in that
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at this time he was very popular. He had just hit in another movie called Pulp Fiction,
I'm
and
Pulp, yeah.
he had a lot of roles right here in sort of the mid to late 90s. He was a
Yeah.
big commodity.
He does a lot of this kind of role, like
Yeah.
intimidating spy with a heart of gold who's really a softie.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Let's see. The
Yeah.
masks are great.
Masks, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes. Oh my god.
Especially the
This-
last one.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't expect that one.
Yes.
And it was really weird.
The masks. The
Yeah.
masks. Yeah.
Let's see. The
Mm.
what's my
Were you surprised when people you thought were dead and then they turned up alive?
Dun, dun,
a
dun.
little bit, yeah.
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 Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what we
Yeah.
call a trope. Like
Uh-huh.
if you don't see somebody die, don't believe it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and Mission Impossible. Yeah, and spy movies like this are famous
Mhm.
for that sort of thing. So
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, filmmakers, we're ruining it for you. But
yeah, for the next generation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you recommend this movie?
Oh yeah.
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 Do you want to watch the next couple? Like just us, not for the podcast.
Duh.
Just, yeah. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check them out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So any thoughts on the gadgets
They're cool.
besides the mask, the chewing gum that you
Yeah.
can put
that was-
together,
That was good.
the glasses with now we've
Yeah.
got like Google Glass and all these
Right.
Meta glasses and all these things, but yeah, back then that was like a revolutionary
yeah.
idea
All right.
to have glasses that have a camera in them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the heat-seeking glasses,
The heat-seeking
where
glasses.
he sprays the thing on
Oh.
the back of his head, and she can
Oh,
see.
yeah, that's cool too. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
very
no, I
much.
thought that was kind of
Yeah,
brilliant.
that was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can see the pheromone or whatever that
Yeah.
they spray. Yeah.
The poor guy where she squirted the stuff in his coffee. That was
Yeah.
no good.
I mean,
This-
that's how they didn't get caught.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but like that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
He's manning a weather station in Alaska.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the follow-up movie about that
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the twist of the most recent Mission Impossible movie is that he's the villain.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I don't even know
But
anything about it, but that would be awesome if it was.
But no, I
Yeah.
want that to be true. At some point, there's a cameo of we're gonna fly over the North Pole. We need to check the weather there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut to
Yeah. That actor.
Yeah.
That would be great.
just for and like don't ham it up. Just like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you don't, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Yeah. It was good. It was. It
Mhm.
was. Yeah.
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 Good.
So do you buy Tom Cruise as like an action star?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Here's my other favorite characters. Luther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luther for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Krieger's pretty good till he turns out
Evil.
to
yeah.
be bad. Yeah. But yeah, he's that character, that actor
Mm-hmm.
it plays a lot of when you need somebody from Interpol or something,
Yeah.
that actor comes in
Mhm.
Mhm.
a lot.
He's just
Yeah.
French enough to be
Oh,
menacing.
he's French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Yes.
oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you need someone from the French Secret Service or whatever. Yeah, he's got you covered. He's what you call a character actor, an actor that kind of plays a character, the same sort of character in every performance. But yeah, he's always either an assassin, a spy, or a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, on one side of the law or the other, but very, very close to the middle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give us your parting thoughts, and then we'll get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Recommends it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. See, 30-year-old action movies hold up with the teens.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's say goodbye. It gets the official teen stamp of approval. We'll let Mission Impossible franchise know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then we'll depart on our own mission to watch the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye. I go to bed now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm tired.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye.
Okay. As always, Will is a fun time, giving us the teen perspective.
Mm-hmm. I was pleasantly surprised at how much he liked this. I didn't think he would.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's old.
Old stuff. I do think like the mid 90s is a good sort of for action movies and stuff. The special effects had gotten good enough by the 90s that it was by the mid 90s and late 90s especially that it still kind of feels new. Like it feels modern, I should say modern. It's kind of like for some people there's that cutoff of black and white and color.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that just to them a black and white movie will always feel old just because it's black and white. And then there's other things like cinematically, there are things like how things are shot, the length of scenes, the way dialogue is shot. There's no like forward and reverse shots of like, in older movies, things that just make movies feel old and like really bad green screen and stuff like that is one of the things that can make a movie feel old. And I think this movie doesn't suffer from any of that. I think the special effects in general are really good. So I do think it saves it. I think a modern kid, modern teen can watch it and not be distracted by that stuff. Whereas, when in the 90s, when I was Will's age, watching movies from the 70s where they were trying that like early green screen stuff really was like, like, especially all the Star Wars clones and stuff. Cause George Lucas really got it right with the green screen, even though it wasn't perfect. He really blue screen back then. He really got it right with that stuff. And a lot of the imitators just did it as cheaply as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways that Lucas got it right was to be really finicky about it and like make it really, put a lot of effort into what it's called chroma key, but put a lot of effort into that. And Pretenders didn't. And it made it really hard to watch a lot of 70s sci-fi movies because the special effects were so bad.
Yeah.
I think were the special effects bad in this movie, Will would have a hard time watching it and feeling like it belongs to a modern audience. But I think the special effects, the train effect at the end is really great. I think they're doing just like every possible trick with that. Like they have footage of a real train. They've got like footage of them riding on the real rails. They've got a model train. They've got a real helicopter. They've got a model helicopter. And then for a very short period of time, they do have like a fully 3D right as they go in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Because that shot was too dangerous to do with a real chopper. And it was too dangerous and particular to do with a remote control chopper. So there is like a couple of seconds of like full 3D where the train is going in the tunnel. To context what I'm saying there's a point where they're on a train near the climax of the movie and a helicopter is trailing them. It gets bolted onto it gets lashed to the train and is being sort of pulled along, and it has to go very low and go into a tunnel with the train. And that moment when it goes into the tunnel is CGI, and it's really good for the time.
There was a moment, I think, when the two of them were clinging to like what is it? It's not the feet, but
like the cleats or whatever on the top of the train, or what?
No, the feet of the helicopter.
The skids.
That looked a little bit. I was like, okay, they're clearly on something solid. They're not just hanging in thin air, like something, you know. So there were a couple,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that was that's probably the worst. That when they're on the skids of the helicopter, that is probably the worst
Mhm.
like moment of bad green screen or whatever.
And I usually can't see that stuff. So for me
Yeah.
to see it, like, you know, but
there's
whatever. Like,
but
you know.
especially around the train, there's some great stuff. There's some stuff that they're doing like pretty for real. Like, I'm not sure what it was about it that made you snicker, but there's a moment where Cruise's character is on top of the train and they're going like hundreds of miles an hour, and he kind of shifts his weight and he gets pulled up and turned, like flipped over. So he's facing the back of the train, and then he basically flips over, holding onto the train with one hand, and ends up facing the front of the train.
Well, it was the intense, like, the wind is creating like wrinkles in his skin.
Yeah, like, and they were
like
really pushing like hundreds of miles an hour of wind at them.
Was that? Oh,
yeah, and
I didn't realize it was going that fast.
It's not. They're not moving, but they're pushing the wind,
yeah.
and it's it's maybe 80, 100 miles an hour. I say hundreds. It's probably
I didn't
unrealistic.
realize that. Okay,
It's like hurricane force winds, as I recall the like. I just recently watched some behind the scenes stuff, actually before we even decided to watch this movie. Weirdly enough. But yeah, they were pushing a lot of wind at him to get that effect, and to do, and it's like, it makes sense that if you get the wind gets up underneath you at the rates the train is supposed to be moving, that it would like flip you up and over and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like overall, the special effects are just.
Speaking of effects, everybody's favorite effects are the masks.
Yes.
And the first couple of masks, I was like, oh yeah, I can see Tom Cruise's bone structure underneath that. Okay, I can, and then later, not at all. But I thought they were pretty well done to me. I mean, like, even though I could tell, okay, this is going to be Tom Cruise, it wasn't like, okay, I can see the seams and everything.
Yeah, the first mask in the intro is a little obvious watching it, knowing it's a mask, but not knowing it's pretty good because it's got a little extra structure to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he pulls that off, that's kind of that pulling that mask off in the intro is kind of the puts glasses on of this, like, I don't know if every Mission Impossible movie starts with that moment, but they should.
Okay, now I need a supercut of that,
right,
because the David Caruso sunglasses supercut never fails to make me burst into giggles. So this would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, but so what and then the second mask is very clearly just Tom Cruise in like some pretty light facial prosthetics
when he's being the
senator or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one, there's some extra structure there. It's like a full-on mask.
Yeah.
Whereas this is probably just applications on his face.
Yeah. I could see, like, I don't know. I knew it was him from the beginning. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think certainly the second one is not meant to surprise you.
No, it didn't. But the first one, when they're just, I knew. But
yeah, I think you can get it pretty easily. But yeah, for if you're not paying attention, right, you're like, I think you can get duped by the first one, but definitely not the second one.
Yeah.
And more so, like, the thing that's most revealing about the second one is when he goes to pull it off, he doesn't pull it off. There's this motion that has become the Mission Impossible, like, mask tear, which he does when he tears off the Jim Phelps mask at the end of the movie. Where it's a pull to the right, and then a pull across to the left. I'm doing the motion. Yeah. It's like you pull it so that the eye holes become obviously distorted, and then you pull it the rest of the way off your head. Like, it's this requisite, one direction, then the other direction.
So,
and when he does the senator mask, he just grabs behind his ear and he starts to pull, and the prosthetic breaks almost immediately, and they cut. Yeah. Right as the makeup starts breaking in his hand, like snapping off in his hand.
Yeah.
So as, not to see, but like that's one of those real deals where, like, if you've ever seen anybody do that for real in a movie, where it's not supposed to be a mask, it's just supposed to be like, oh, they have a fake nose or whatever, and they're like pulling parts off. They're pulling cheek applications off and a chin off.
Like in Tootsie when he's taking the stuff off at the end. So here's a question, because, like I said, I've seen the second one, but it was a long time ago and I don't remember it, and I haven't seen any of the other ones. At any point, does he suspect someone else of wearing a mask?
I don't know. So
I'm having Austin Powers flashbacks. That's a man, baby.
Yeah. That's not your mother. I'm not sure. I know that the second one, I feel like in my heart is like peak mask pulling. And it's like the kind of thing where like he's off screen for 30 seconds and then he comes back on screen and he's got a mask. And like he's got a mask of someone that he like wouldn't have a mask of.
Right.
But like
and then he's got a mask of himself that he puts on someone else.
Yeah, but then he's like, but they have this setup, I think, where it's like, oh, he's got a briefcase that makes masks or whatever. The thing about this franchise, it's not unlike the Fast and the Furious franchise. Most of the movies are so samey that it becomes difficult to remember
which one
you've seen.
Yeah.
Like there's this first one and there's the second one. Because the second one is like John Woo, or if it's not John Woo, it's like there are doves in it, like John Woo style.
I don't remember that. That's the one with Tandy Newton and the virus that threatens to take over the world. Oh, that's not quite so funny now as it was then.
So I don't remember. I just remember doves in that one. And I remember like motorcycles spinning around each other.
Yeah.
And they're pointing guns at each other while their motorcycles do like front wheelies and stuff.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah. But like 3 couldn't tell you. 4 couldn't tell you. 5 couldn't tell you. Like I remember there's one where he's like at the Burj Khalifa or something and he's crawling up the outside of it. And they did it for real, of course, like as they do.
Yeah.
You know, all of these things. But that's the thing. From here on out, there's pretty much one major set piece stunt that Tom Cruise does personally.
Yeah.
And they film tons of behind the scenes to let you know that it's Tom Cruise doing it. Like there's in one of them, and I think in the second one, it's the motorcycle chases, and maybe there's an airplane thing. In one of them, there's like a cargo plane that he hangs off the edge of as it takes off. So he's like holding on to the open door of the plane as the plane takes off, and it's a single shot of the plane leaving the runway and taking off, and he's just hanging on, and the wind's, whipping all around him. And then I think the most recent one, the one that's just recently come out, is he's on a biplane and he's walking around and hanging around on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a stunt in every movie that is like, here's Tom Cruise doing this crazy thing. Yeah. But
and also in every movie there is the patented Tom Cruise run.
Right, which you love.
I do. We saw it in Far and Away. What else have we watched other Tom Cruise movies for this? I can't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, Tom Cruise has a very determined run.
Very sharp arm movements.
Yeah.
His hands are very sharp and they're like knives cutting through things.
Yeah, which is, I think you want that kind of run versus like the Steven Seagal run. Have you ever seen Steven Seagal run?
No, but I imagine he lumbers.
It's like, there's kind of a looseness to the wrists. His arms are kind of like, they're at his side, but then they're bent at the elbow at like 45 degrees. And then it's almost like T-Rex arms he runs. That's what it sounds like. And he looks ridiculous when he runs. But like in his early movies, for some reason, there's a lot of running. Yeah, so I think you would rather want to have like Tom Cruise's very distinctive, powerful looking, maybe too powerful looking run than like a Steven Seagal run.
True. I always worry that he's gonna like wear himself out. I'm like, you got to pace yourself, dude. You were like running a pace for like 100-meter dash.
Yeah,
you might have to run a mile. Like, calm down.
Maybe. One of the things I was going to mention before we get too deeper into it is. We mentioned this was directed by Brian De Palma. Brian De Palma is like, he's one of those, like, I think these guys pop up every now and then. For me, Alex Proyas was one of them who directed The Crow. There's these guys that pop up and you're just like, this guy's going to be a superstar. I think recently guys like, guys that are still on the bubble about this, recent guys are like Ari Aster and what's his name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, there are some young directors who have made like one amazing movie or two amazing movies and maybe a couple of like, okay movies. Like several years ago, like this was Darren Aronofsky, like around the time he made The Fountain. People were like, nah, maybe he's not going to be the big deal that it looked like he was going to from like, the first couple movies that he put out. And the same thing with Chris Nolan. And they were like, yeah, Memento was great, but I don't know, maybe he's not going to, maybe he's not going to do it. And those guys overcome and they become like timeless directors and put out just like a catalog of amazing movies, and De Palma was one of those guys. Starting back in the 60s, directing, like little stuff, shorts and television shows and stuff. And then he hits with Carrie
Hmm.
in 76. He also made a movie called Phantom of Paradise, which is a spectacular movie.
Wow. Okay.
But
So
it's really dumb. But
I was going to say, where is he now? But if he was directing in the 70s, maybe that's my answer.
Well, so we'll get to the where he is where is he now, right?
Okay.
So he does Carrie. He hits, he's got a couple other okay movies. Then he hits again with Scarface. And then he's got a few more before he gets to Untouchables. And then Casualties of War, which is a great but difficult to watch Michael J. Fox movie with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox. Bonfire of the Vanities, Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
And then Mission Impossible. And then after this, he falls off a cliff.
Oh.
And this movie becomes essentially his swan song. I believe he made a movie most recently in 2019, and he has at least one in development movie. So I believe he's still in the game. But in 96, he makes this. Then he makes Snake Eyes, which is so speaking of David Caruso, Snake Eyes is the Nick Cage movie that was supposed to be David Caruso's coming out party. This was the movie that he left NYPD Blue to do.
Yeah.
And bombs spectacularly. A wonderful ride of a movie if you want to experience that. But just not good, not critically good, but still like not critically acclaimed, but still a fun watch, you know, but nothing like Carlito's Way or Scarface or any of that. Then Mission to Mars, which is the I enjoy Mission to Mars. But I think a lot of people, it just didn't land for them. This is the one where they go to Mars and they find the face on Mars. And Gary Sinise goes inside of it. And it's like a very 2001 thing, you know, he goes inside of it and there are aliens there and they're like, we used to live here and it's cool. Of the two Mars movies that came out that year, the other one being Red Planet with Val Kilmer and Tom Sizemore, by far Mission to Mars, the better of those movies.
I'm just Tom Sizemore. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but he just makes me
But
giggle.
then like he just continues to make like these mediocre, like painfully average, like 5.3, 6.1 stars kind of out of 10, kind of, you know, Femme Fatale, The Black Dahlia. You know, 2019, he made a movie named Domino, which looks like some kind of generic action movie.
Oh, that was Keira Knightley. Yeah. Her brief action.
Yeah.
period.
Like it's just like he never hits. He hasn't hit since this, basically.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where like this guy he was putting out every third or fourth movie he got to direct, he was putting out a classic. And then since then it's been, 30 years. And he just really hasn't hit. Not that he hasn't made movies that are worth watching. I think Snake Eyes and Mission to Mars are well worth watching. And then there's some of these that I've always wanted to watch, but just never gotten around to it, like The Black Dahlia. But yeah, it's just, it's one of those careers that it's just, you hate to see it go that way. And there's just this handful of directors that are like this. Like I always put Brian De Palma and Michael Mann in the same, in the same box for whatever reason, because they were both these sort of aspiring, like these directors that were working in the 80s that had sort of a style to them, and were directing some pretty interesting things in the 80s and even into the 90s. And I think Mann has suffered largely a similar fate, although I think he gets a little more cred because he's a bit more artsy with his stuff. But yeah, De Palma is one of those guys like a what if, like, what if he could have just had one more good script, or, what if? And I don't think we're ever going to get, I don't know if we'll ever get another good Brian De Palma movie, but I hope we do. Because I think he's got a lot of, decent stuff to his name, and he's got a lot of potential, and he's just, I think there's this really weird thing, and I don't want to get too bogged down in this, but there's this really weird thing where you see, like, where you watch a promising young innovative director just sort of become like a solid hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like they go from like, you know, in baseball, this would be like, you know, they start out as a rookie superstar. They have a couple good seasons, and then they just become a reliable hitter who's just, you know, he's not gonna make the all-star team, but he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna produce, and he's gonna give you something that's good. There's a guy, I think his name's Lowry. I forget his first name. He's the same way. Like
Yeah.
couple of just amazing movies to start with. He's the guy that made The Green Knight. And then just sort of like he made Pete's Dragon, like the Pete's Dragon
Yeah.
movie, which is good, is really good, but like is not
Yeah.
what you were thinking that guy would do. Yeah. So Brian De Palma, yeah. Watch his catalog. This is not the best movie in his catalog, but is probably the last good movie in his
Oh,
catalog.
that's too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And he didn't do any more Mission Impossible ones. then?
Not that I'm aware
Okay.
of. No.
Do they have the same director, or was it a different one every time?
So I don't know. Certainly the second movie is not the same director, and I don't think the third movie is, but it may be one of those things that like at a certain point it got consistent,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if, Wikipedia has an entry on the film series Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I think when it's like maybe like Hunger Games, where it's a series of movies, but they come out within like start to finish is like 4 years. I kind of would prefer that it's all the same director because it's all a tighter story and vision. But if it's going to be a long franchise like that,
Yeah.
I'd like some difference between them, I think.
Oh, this is weird. I didn't even notice that Danny Elfman was the composer for this.
Oh, I did see that on the screen.
don't-
Yeah,
I don't
it
think I
didn't
even
really
noticed.
come across. I wasn't envisioning spiders at any point.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Like, yeah, where was the-
Ghosts or
yeah.
there was no Johnny Depp. That's the thing.
Yeah, so yeah, some of the movies share cinematographers, and like the last 1, 2, 3, 4 have had the same editor. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
editors,
it's-
are behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
you
for
don't
sure,
notice
for
our
sure.
work
Exactly.
if we do it right.
Yeah, exactly. But they're all Paramount joints, so they're all kind of under the same umbrella.
Mhm.
Yeah. But Mission Impossible. So the thing about this movie that I think catches some people off guard is that it's kind of two movies in one. Like it has a very distinct first act, second act
Mhm.
deal, where it starts out as this spy movie where they're going into this gala event and yada yada yada, and then it turns into a heist movie. And I think for most people, like the heist movie part of it is the most memorable and most like, or the often cited as was with Will, favorite part of the movie.
It's the most parodied.
Yeah, and it's parodied.
The most distinctive visually.
Yeah. And it doesn't quite do the Ocean's 11 thing, but they sort of hint at it, because there's a moment where he's telling these two guys he's picked up, Luther and Krieger, who are disavowed
Mm-hmm.
from IMF, and that's his his idea of how to get the knock list. So his idea of how to get to Job is to get the knock list, because Max wants the knock list, and if he gives Max the knock list, Max will give him Job, and he will clear his name because he will know who Job is.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to steal the knock list, but when he tells them what it is, I think Luther says something like, and how do you expect to do that? And then they cut to fire trucks going to
There was not. Yeah, I was kind of expecting a montage of here's how we're going to figure it out, and there was none of that.
But it's almost like, because the whole shtick with Ocean's 11 is like, here's what we'll do. And then as they're explaining it to you at the end, it's like, oh, and that was us doing it.
Yeah.
So it's almost that. It's almost like, Ethan Hunt going, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to yada. But like they stop short of that.
Right,
but
yeah.
I just thought it was funny watching it now, going like this. They almost did an Ocean's 11, where the explanation of how they're going to do it is actually them doing it.
Yeah.
But they stop short of that. But yeah, it's fun. They go in. The poor technician gets sacrificed. He has to throw up and then poop his pants or whatever.
Yeah.
And and yeah, they do, of course, the iconic scene. It's very, they do a good job of drawing it out cinematically. Like they get, they get through they get in the vents and they get through the vents and they,
Mhm.
it is funny that certain things that they call out as threats, they just like deal with them. Like,
Yeah, the
there's a
lasers,
laser grid,
They're
right?
like, well, we're going to put something in front of it to
Yeah.
stop the lasers. And
Oh.
will that sound an alarm? No.
Yeah. Well, we just got a thing that just like redirects the laser. It's like a prism thing. Like the concept is cool and it's been
Okay.
used in a lot of movies.
Okay.
It's just a prism that basically like traps the laser so that
Mhm.
it never gets interrupted. Because all it's really looking for is an interruption in the
Yeah.
laser. And it just makes the laser go in an infinite loop, and so it never gets interrupted.
For my money, though, the best laser trick is Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment.
Yes, of course,
Like,
of course.
and I say this even though I am a straight woman,
Oh yeah.
but
that was like
1999 Catherine Zeta-Jones, yes, please.
yeah. Ask anybody to tell you what that movie's about, and that's all that they will know about it. Even if they were 30 at the time, or 10 at the time, or unborn. At the
I
time,
don't know.
like the likelihood is that you'll be like, what was Entrapment about? Be like, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones
And her ass in
lasers.
yoga pants.
Yeah, and she does.
I don't know. I you know what? Ving Rhames is in that.
Ah,
Also, that kind of tough with
yeah.
maybe kind of. Actually, no, he was a little bit scary in that. I don't think
Yeah.
he ever had a soft interior, but I don't know. I watched that several times. I like that.
yeah, sure. But what is it about?
She's an art thief,
Right, she's a thief,
And Sean Connery is a thief, and they steal.
Where's the entrapment?
That's the thing. Well, no, what is entrapment is what cops do to thieves. He says, "I always come up here when I want to drop something off." Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but
But yeah, I do. I think the heist movie is sort of the most interesting part of this movie. I like the whole first act with the spy games and all that
Mhm.
stuff, and the the cool realization. Like I was telling you when we watched it, that Ethan realizes there's a second team when he meets with Kittredge. He starts recounting how he's like, why was there a second
Yeah.
IMF team? And Kittredge is like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, oh, the drunk couple in the hallway. And the team that was in the embassy and everything is also in this restaurant that they're meeting in.
Mhm.
Because of course it's a trap for
This is a very
Ethan.
well-staffed agency, I have to say.
Well, I mean, it's
Spare
just,
teams everywhere.
well, I mean, they brought that team in on purpose
That's a lot of
because
staff,
they
is what I'm
suspected someone on Ethan's team was.
I'm just, I expect much tighter budgets for the U.S.
Oh,
government.
this is the IMF.
So-
They are
Oh,
like
okay.
outside of.
Okay.
They're outside of all,
Okay,
of all that. They have an unlimited budget.
that's how they do it.
But yeah, in watching the intro embassy act, yeah, you can see all of the people. You can see the when she goes to activate her heat vision glasses, as we'll call them. You can see the waiter look at her.
Mhm.
You can see someone to linger a step too long. You can see a couple that is dancing around, sort of like
Mhm.
obviously listening in when you know that that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
So it's really cool. I really like it when filmmakers don't fudge that stuff.
yeah.
It's real easy to, when you're giving the revelation, to give like an alternate angle.
Yeah, here's what you didn't
And like,
see.
yeah, here's what you didn't see. But to have had all that
Yeah.
in plain sight
It was right in front of your eyes,
and
you
just
didn't see
subtle
it.
enough
Yeah.
for you not to notice
Yeah.
until, it's really cool on a second, third, fourth watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, Mission Impossible. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to talk about. Do you have any?
I was surprised that same with Emilio Estevez, but that they got rid of Kristen Scott Thomas that early.
Yeah, yeah.
Although that was before The English Patient, right?
Yeah,
So maybe she had not hit in the big way, but
possibly. Yeah.
still, I was just like, oh, she's going to be here a while, and I sort of thought, oh, she's going to come back later alive too, but she did not.
Yeah, and there was a sort of a tradition in the 90s of movies like this, and I think my favorite one is, I think it's Executive Decision with Kurt Russell,
Mm-hmm.
where you have somebody in the movie who's obviously famous and then you kill them early on.
Oh, well, that's like Scream. Yeah.
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 You're right, with Scream as well. But in Executive Decision, it's Steven Seagal.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the first scene and gets killed in the first scene
Mhm.
and is never seen again. in the rest of the movie. But yeah, I think there was a little bit of people like kind of delighting in that, of like having known actors in their movies and like then killing them, even though, like you say, she probably was not nearly as known
Yeah.
at
That's
that
fair.
point. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and we get one of the movies from the 90s are always fun for their real world cameos.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, we get McLaughlin from the McLaughlin Group.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I was thinking, should I even try to explain to Will? And then I was like, no,
Yeah.
I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
Yes, it's always fun when you get those real world. Like
God
Larry
bless.
King loves showing up in movies and interviewing people, or in Hellraiser 3, which was shot in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yeah.
The one of the newscasters is in it.
I love that so much. I especially love when they have Chicago newscasters
Oh, yeah.
because that's who I grew up watching, and I'm like, I know her.
Yeah, so it's a good time for that. I like when movies do that. And in the 90s, it just seemed to be like a thing people delighted in. Of like, we're gonna have this, this news personality on. We're gonna have this. What's her name? She insured her legs on Entertainment Tonight.
Oh, Mary Hart.
Mary Hart is going to be on there. It's just going to be, you're going to throw some real world people in. It gives your movie a sense of grounding, I guess.
I especially like when John McLaughlin shows up though, because not so much here, but I think he was in Dave. And they're like talking about when the president has a personality transplant, they say, or whatever, and he's on the show, and issue 1, what wrong? The answer is blah blah blah.
Wrong.
So it's nice to see that he can make fun of himself.
Yeah,
He doesn't do that here, but I'm feeling warm and fuzzy about John McLaughlin, which is weird. I'm not used to that feeling.
Definitely. I think anybody's used to that feeling.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah. Mission Impossible. It's just a fun. I picked this movie just as a counterpoint of sorts to 3 Days of the Condor.
Yes, it's definitely less cerebral.
Yes. It has a fun twist, a couple fun twists, like the mask. It's just full of fun stuff. And this is, I think, what action movies were in the 90s. They excelled at being just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one happens to be fairly well rated and well regarded by critics and stuff, but like, there are so many movies like this that are just dumb fun. And I'm not going to say like, oh, we need to get back to that, because there's plenty of those still. But yeah, there's the 90s is filled with fun, just fun movies like this where you just turn your brain off. You just used to be able to go, certainly every Saturday during the summer to a matinee and get some dumb action movie, a double team with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman, or whatever. There's some dumb thing that you could just turn your brain off and just watch. So it's one of those.
Yes.
Maybe
and
with
this one, if you like it, there's like 15 more.
Yeah.
So.
Turn your brain off, but like keep a brain nightlight on, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Watch it. Come for the waggling his arms above the ground and stay for the masks.
Stay for the masks. Yeah. Well, folks, we would love to know what you think of Mission Impossible. Did you enjoy the John McLaughlin cameo? Do you know who John McLaughlin is, or are you that much of a Gen Z? When did John McLaughlin stop being relevant? I don't know. But anyway, let us know. We'd love to hear what you think. You can get in touch with us in a couple different ways. You can send us an email at YSMYpodcast. That's YSMY for You Show Me Yours at gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, same handle. You can DM us, or you can find our latest episodes all linked on our feed. We have new episodes every other Wednesday. So 2 weeks from today, no matter when you're listening, there'll be a new episode. I believe is our next episode part of our Spooktacular.
Yeah, I believe it's the beginning of the Spooktacular. The Spooktacular this year is going to be, it's going to be what I would say. I don't know how to exactly classify it, but I would say genre-defining movies, perhaps, or movies of a certain genre. So I'm going to have like a mockumentary / found footage movie, a classic creature feature type movie, a big special effects like goop and wet puppets kind of movie, and that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to kind of pick movies that I think you will find fun or interesting from distinct categories. So each week we'll have a different category in which the movie will sort of be what I consider like a representation, a
Okay.
representational sample of that movie, of that
Okay.
genre
Okay,
or
good. And
category.
yes, and for the Spooktacular, we have a movie every week in October, which
Yes.
this year is 5 weeks.
Yikes.
5 weeks in a row. We're going to be exhausted by the end.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, we have energy. So do we know what we're doing for the first week?
We don't.
Okay, well, stay tuned. It'll be a surprise. It'll be a spooky surprise.
Yes. Spooky surprise.
Okay, well, we'll keep you in suspense until next time when it'll be some genre-defining spooky movie. In the meantime, this has been You Show Me Yours. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. The You Show Me Yours theme song is Uplifting Electronic Indie by Winnie the Moog from filmmusic.io.
Don't make a face.
I'm not making a face.